Hello, strong people. It is week 5, day 4 of OSG prep. It's event day, as usual for day 4. Just me by myself today. You guys actually get to see a full session in the daytime. I think it's been a couple weeks for that. So, no lanterns or anything getting in the way of this one. We got pretty much the same stuff we've been doing. Not next week, but the week after, everything's going to change for the most part. So, or not everything, but we're going to add in other things because I have not trained the final events really at all. I've done my loading stuff, but it's, a little bit, it's different. So, it's not stones. So, now that I'm thinking about it, probably the next 3 or 4 weeks will not be training in here. It's probably gonna be somewhere with stones. Like I have stones, but they are not nearly heavy enough. Not for what I need. So it's a realization I just made, which is fine. I mean, I traveled, basically every week for every show this year, on a Saturday to go train at 580. I've just been, and I probably would have gone down sometime here recently, but they've come up here or, I haven't been able to. I've been busy. And that's how it is. But just because I'm like this, the garage has been a lifesaver because if I, was busy on my Saturdays again and had to train Fridays, I would have basically done almost no full-on event training at all of this prep so far. So because I have this space now, I'm able to do my yoke runs, I'm able to do actual moving events rather than standing in place. So this has been a game changer for me for this prep. I never could have foreseen that it was going to be this much of an issue. Training on the weekends right now. To my knowledge, I think next Saturday I have something to go to, but it's like later in the afternoon, I think. So if I need to go somewhere to train that day, then I'll go somewhere to train that day. Oh, wait, no. Next week I have, there is no event session next week. Sweet, I just remembered that. So, anyway, more about today. We are squatting first, front squatting with the SSB bar. I think I was supposed to have Husafel runs, but I don't have heavy enough Husafel, so it's going to be probably the 150 sandbag, or 150, 350 sandbag. I have some heavy yoke, like 825-ish for 25 feet, sets of 3 or 4, or 3 to 4 sets, not like reps or anything. So I'm excited for that. My coach has been doing this every other week where it's like 25 feet full runs, 25 feet full runs. That's new. We've never trained like that before, at least that I remember. So that's going to be interesting. What else? I'm trying to think. I think I have some sort of max reps loads, like in 90 seconds, like I think a 300-pound bag for max reps in 90 seconds or something. So that's going to suck, but I'm excited for it. So enough talking. I'm already out here later than I wanted to be because once again, I got somewhere to be this afternoon. So let's get to training. Just some thoughts in between squatting here. It hurts my shoulder so bad right here. This happened before and I had to stop squatting. It's like the weight is fine. The weight is no problem. But getting into it, getting under the bar and just trying to wiggle my way under there, it's putting so much pressure on my shoulder. I don't like it, but I'm gonna go up and wait anyway, so we'll see. It doesn't always do this. Like I think I did something on my shoulder weird last event day, doing sandbags. I think it was whenever I cleaned. Well, I guess I kind of cleaned it. Whenever I loaded the 350 bag and I like pushed it over, I think I like pinched my shoulder or something. I don't know. It was weird, but I don't know. We'll see how bad this feels, and if it feels really bad, then might be it. So we'll see. That was okay. My stability in the front squat on this is bad. I'm just all over the place wobbling. So it's getting better, but like all around, like that one, I was getting a little bit harder to breathe there with that weight sitting there. What was that? I don't know, 550 something? 495 plus 16, 511, 561. I think it was 561. Like I could definitely go up, but I think it's giving me a pretty bad headache actually. Just that extra pressure. That one didn't bother my shoulder as bad. I tried to get into it a little bit different than I was normally. Kind of like shimmy my way in it sometimes. But that one I really went to just dig it the whole way in and then get the other shoulder in. So I wasn't like, messing around with it on my traps. It was just like I got in, got out as best I could. So that was okay. Better than last week, that's for sure. May have went a little wide on the stance in that last one, but because I try to mimic like somewhere in between my deadlift stance and like my push press stance, because like this is going to help on both. Front squat's better, front squat carries over to deadlifts pretty well. Front squat carries over into press pretty well. Because in a press, obviously, you're doing like, a quarter squat or less or more, depends. Dip depth, that's tough to say. Dip depth varies from person to person. Some people dip a lot, some people don't dip at all. Some have a very quick, just a quick dip. And front squat's going to help all of that. So anytime you can get adjusted to having more weight here in this position, it's probably going to help your overhead, because that's where the weight's sitting, obviously. So good carryover from there. Deadlifts are a little bit pretty good carryover to that too. Somewhat. For me, at least, like the leg drive off the floor. Because it's, you're kind of stopping the weight on a box squat like that. You're not fully sitting on the box and then going. At least not the way that I do it or the way that I was told to do it. There's different ways you can do it. But for this one, my coach said, I remember this from years ago. He said, imagine your feet, like there's a scale on your feet and there's a scale under your butt. He wants me to have both the scales and the scales under my feet and the scales under my butt match. So basically keep tension in the legs while also sitting down a little bit. So I like that. It's a good way of putting it. I sat down maybe a little bit more than I should have on that, but I also attribute that to having a good clean on log or axle or whatever. But don't look at my OSG regional clean. That was ugly, but it worked. So if it's ugly but it works, then whatever. Yeah, that was bad, but it worked. So, all right, I'm just talking to prolong the rest of the workout. I don't know what's next. I think it's Husafel runs, which is going to be sandbag. So let's do that. All right, so I don't have a whole lot of recording time left. Somewhere at some point I got decent at carrying weight for distance, apparently, because that was, granted, not quite 150 feet probably, because I was cutting it short about 5 or 6 feet on either end. So 135 feet, give or take. Maybe a little more, a little less, but like I could have kept going. That makes no sense, because I used to not be good at it. Maybe I just got better mentally, because those events are like, obviously you got to be strong to carry it a long ways, but it's a fight too. Like you have, you know, whatever the weight is, resting down on your chest, your sternum, making it hard to breathe, and that's a fight. Your legs are starting to burn because they're getting pumped. If I could do that again, which I got to go again, but it's going to be a little bit different. Did I wear knee sleeves for OSG regional? I feel like I might have. I don't know if I would do that again, because my legs still felt good there, but on this one my legs felt a little wobbly, pumped up. I want them to breathe on something like that. So knee sleeves are good if you're squatting, obviously, or pressing, where you're using your knees up and down a lot, but you're not really using them that much just carrying for distance. You're just kind of walking with it or running. Your knees aren't really bending. So for distance, I don't know if I'd wear them. It's kind of a toss-up for me. Yeah, I don't know. I'm supposed to do a couple sets of that, but what I'm going to do instead this time is, because now we know what the sandbag medley is at OSG, I've mentioned it before probably, but it's 325-pound sandbag. You run 50 feet down. You run 50 feet back. Grab a 350-pound Husafel sandbag, which I need to get my hands on one. 580 barbell has a couple. They're not, comp weight, but they are still, the shape, get a feel for what I need to do. So what instead I'm going to do, I'm very slow on the pick at these heavier bags. So I'm going to try to pick this one faster and just sprint 50 feet with it. I take more time whenever it's for distance to get it high enough in my chest, but I don't necessarily need to do that if I'm just running 50 feet with it. I need to get it high enough I can keep it and hold it, but I don't necessarily need to have it up on my chest to go. So I need to. That part doesn't scare me as much. It doesn't really scare me, but it's more like the pick itself is hard for me. I don't know. I'm gonna try to do a little bit faster this time. So let's just see what happens. That sucked. It just wasn't good. The pick off the floor was meh. Yeah. And then when I went to go, had my belt too high, and the sandbag caught on my belt as I was picking it up, so I couldn't get it. I couldn't get the actual sandbag in a position. So I had to re-dip, get my belt under the sandbag, and then go. Once I was up and moving, I was fine. I didn't think about throwing that initial run in until I was about to go, because this is the weight of the second bag. So like, I've already done one bag at that point. I'd be running back, quick picking, and then going. So 10. I don't know. I need to be faster. That's all. That slow of a pick is not going to do it. Not going to cut it. So I made mistakes on two ends there. So it's, shave off a few seconds per mistake. It's got to be faster than that. That was bad. I am confident that I can pick this way faster now after doing it that way, though. So even though it wasn't good, it built the confidence a little bit. So I know what I need to do. yeah. Not hard to say I'm not mad at it, but I'm not, because it's just now I know what needs to be done, where to fix it. So moving on to yoke. All right, so we're at 8:55 on the yoke. I'd be lying if I said any of those warm-ups felt good. So I just have a bit of a headache, and it's not really, yoke is not helping, it's just a lot of pressure. But the weights just feel heavy. But that doesn't mean I can't move it. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move the weight. Supposed to have like 3 or 4 sets of this. So if I get 3 good ones, I'll be happy. Yeah, let's just see what happens. My low back doesn't like these front squats, along with really I think it's any carry, like the long distance carry where I'm leaned back like that, really like right above the tailbone bothers me so bad. Today it's not super bad, it's just more annoying than anything. But every little thing matters whenever you have, 850 plus pounds sitting on your back and you got to run with it. So I only have a few minutes left of recording, so I'm going to try to use it to actually record my lifts. So let's go lift. Last run, best run. All right, I gotta rush this outro a little bit because I am short on time. So last run was not the best run. Second run was the best run. Stumbled a little bit there at the end. I don't know what I need to do differently. I think I just need to get, well, it feels better than it did 2 weeks ago. Last week, this weight also felt good. So going 850 plus back-to-back weeks, when this is still almost uncharted territory for me in a way. I've only trained at this weight like a few times, mostly during the prep for Olympic City, but that's no excuse. I need to be better at this for OSG. I did better looking up that time. I think as I got closer to, like the finish line, whatever you want to call it, I looked down to see where I was going, and I think that's when I stumbled. So eyes up, go through finish line. It's hard to do whenever there's a wall I'm running right at. So that's just, obviously I don't want to run into my wall. But that's something I need to keep in mind on future sets. Just run through the finish line. Don't worry about where it's actually at. Just get there. All in all, good training day. I still have my loads to do, but I don't have enough time to record that. So I think it's 300 for 60 or 90 seconds. So I think 5 or 6 would be really good for me. I'm just kind of gassed out at this point, so it might be less, might be more. Probably not more than that. Who knows? But we'll see. Let's just wrap it up there because I have like 30 seconds left, so maybe a little more. Good day. Can't complain too much, but deload week next week aside from deadlifts. So until then, go out, get strong, stay strong, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.